When you were locked up, were you allowed to talk to death row inmates at all, or are they totally separate from everyone else?
From us.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can't even have a conversation with them.
No, there's not many death penalty cases in the feds.
Ah, that's a state thing.
It's a state thing, more of a state. You know, the feds, they don't kill. I think the last one the feds killed might have been the guy the Oklahoma bomber.
Timothy McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh. So we don't get to see those guys often in the feds.
Well, Tukey Williams got the death penalty.
That was state.
That was state.
Yeah.
How well did you guys know each other?
I didn't really know Tukey. I mean, I seen him, but we had never talked or had a conversation or nothing like that there.
Did you know anyone who you personally knew who got the death penalty?
No.
No.
Nobody.
Life in prison, though, that's a different story.
Yeah, a lot of people with life in prison.
Right. Yeah, I remember Mark Lamont Hill came on my show, and we debated, and I was pro-death penalty, and he was against it, and he broke it down pretty well to me, because he had been discussing this a lot longer than I have. I was just going from the gut. And he basically said that if they get it wrong with just one person, they should throw the whole thing away. I don't believe in nonviolence. You know, I do believe in an eye for an eye. I do believe that if you commit murder, you should walk into that situation knowing that you might get the death penalty, that you might die in the process. You know, if someone pulls out, you know, I mean, because you're a gun owner yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm not nonviolent. Let me be clear. My opposition to the death penalty isn't that I feel like there's no appropriate time for violence. Let me be clear. My opposition to the death penalty is rooted in a few things. One, we get it wrong way too often. It's a technological argument, right? We swear people did it until we find out they didn't, right? And we've had too many cases where we were convinced somebody did it until they didn't do it, right? Except they're dead. So if you say, yeah, but the Charleston shooter, we have no doubt he did it, that's such a small number of people that we can't make public policy around that.
Well, you know, the law says that it's better for a guilty man to go free than for an innocent man to go to prison. So with that being said, is that the forefathers felt leaning more toward not sending an innocent man to jail or to death row than to punish somebody for committing a crime. They felt that it was a greater loss for somebody to be executed or in prison when they were actually innocent.
Right. You talk about the whole Malcolm X documentary. One of the guys that was accused of shooting Malcolm X.
Two of the guys.
One of the guys got out.
The other one died in prison.
Yeah, the other guy's still in prison. One of the guys got out, and he said, I had nothing to do with this.
Two of the guys said that.
And
the guy who actually did the shooting
got away with it.
No, he went to prison. One went to prison. Not the guy who killed him.
Yeah, well, the guy with the shotgun.
The guy with the shotgun.
Yeah, but he didn't go to prison for that.
He didn't go to prison.
He went to prison for something else.
He did.
Yeah.
But two guys went to prison who shouldn't have been in prison, who said that they weren't even in the building. And people who knew them said that they weren't in the building because they wouldn't have let them in the building because they knew that they didn't like Malcolm X.
Right.
So they wouldn't have never let them in the building. Also, we found out that in that documentary that the FBI had 9 informants inside the building who could positively identify everybody who did everything. Also, the NYPD, who had Malcolm X's bodyguard, was the NYPD. He was a police officer working undercover.
Right, exactly.
So he saw everything that happened. He never testified, never came in to identify the shooters or the non-shooters. So they literally let innocent people go to prison.
I think it's another case of we just want to make the public happy. Yeah. Look, we got them. Case closed. All right, you guys happy? They're all in jail. Doesn't matter if it's the right ones, the wrong ones. A bunch of people are in jail for it. They've been, they pleaded out or they were found guilty in a court of law.
We did our job.
We did our job.
Pat me on the back.
Right. Give me my raise. I want my pension.
Yeah.
Reelect me.
And too often that happens.
Yeah.
In the black community, and I mean it probably happens with other people, but when cops are dealing when you're dealing with people, and you know, some of my friends say, "Man, you sound like a racist," and I don't mean to sound like a racist because I'm not a racist. But the evidence is what it is. You know, if you talk about the evidence, then that's what it is. A cop would be more likely to arrest a black, even in the weed business. You know, I'm talking to some of these guys now who literally run the weed business, and they'll be like, "Oh, I never went to jail." You know, made millions and millions of dollars selling weed, and you never went to jail. Well, I know why, because the cop might pull them over and they got a pound of weed, and they take the weed and say, "Oh, boy, quit selling weed," you know, and let them go. But if you're a black guy, they might put extra weed on you. You know, like in my case, they planted drugs on me. They never gave me a chance to not only get caught with what I had, but they couldn't catch me with anything, so they actually planted it on us. So it's always different when you're dealing with I mean, racism is just rampant in this country. You know, I mean, whether you want to deal with it or not, racism is in this country. It is what it is, and until we deal with it in the right way, it's going to always be there.